What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today I've got a story for y'all that is honestly pretty funny. Okay, I don't condone any of the actions taken here, but today we've got a story that a subscriber sent in about them getting revenge on a camp counselor they didn't like by tipping over a porta potty they were in. It just made me giggle a lot, so I figured I would make it into a video. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Be sure to press the like button, or no joke, no scam whatsoever, you're gonna be tipped over in a porta potty, and let's go.
To celebrate. It's not good. Nice rack in her ass Brazilian. Just turned 21, but my bank's a million. Swear I'm a little drunk, but it's a hell of a feeling.
Alright, so I have never been to sleepaway summer camp, but I guess for a lot of people that's something that they get down with, you know. The only time I had ever seen something like that is in movies, where you go, you get your cabin, you have camp counselors and whatnot. I didn't realize that was like an actual thing until this person sent this into me. They were around... They say they were around 12 years old, which is like one of the last years you can really go to camp, I guess. And they had been to this camp a bunch in their earlier years and had a great time. But when they had gotten to camp this year, they had been assigned to a cabin that had a counselor that just was absolutely no fun. Like, apparently on the first night, he made it known that their bedtime was going to be 8:30. That's when lights out was. And when he said lights out, it wasn't just like a situation where, you know, you kind of had to keep it down but could still play video games on your Game Boy or whatever, or like talk to each other. No, it meant lights out, no talking, no having fun, nothing. And he was so serious about it that, like, you know, he was making them go to bed at 8:30 on the second night. He had followed through on his threat the first night. And one of the kids had a Game Boy Advance SP, like one of those little square ones, you know, and he was playing it, and he didn't even have the sound on. The light was just shining on the roof of the cabin, and the counselor had come over and taken it away. He was just no fun. And then whenever there was like competitions between the cabins, you know, he like wouldn't let them really get competitive about it. He'd be like, we're better than that. And listen, I get the idea, but these kids are here to compete against the other cabins. That's like why they signed up, you know. Half the reason of being at camp is to do fun stuff at camp, not go to bed at 8:30 and like not play any of the games, you know. This guy just wasn't down. And beyond just being lame, he was really mean to the kids for like trying to have fun, you know. If they were too loud or goofing off too much, you know, having too much fun, he would yell at them saying that they were making him look bad. So obviously these kids just really started to dislike him. And they started complaining about it to other counselors, and other counselors told them that they were kind of helpless because, like, unless he did something really messed up or he quit, then like there wasn't really much they could do about replacing him. So they decided that they were going to try to make him quit, which, you know, obviously isn't the nicest thing in the world. This isn't one of those stories where I'm like, everyone should go do this, okay? But it's funny. So they decide that since he's mean to them and doesn't want to have any fun, that they're just gonna go out of their way to have as much fun as possible, bro. They started like sneaking stuff into their cabin that made a butt ton of noise to specifically do at 8:30 just to piss him off. They just stopped listening to him, you know. They started doing the exact opposite of what he said, just trying to get him to leave. So he just wasn't quitting. In fact, he started to try to get more like in control of everybody, which is insane when you're already making them go to bed at 8:30. And one of the things that had sadly happened is this cabins before had a bathroom inside, but about halfway through this camp experience, the bathroom in a few of the cabins ended up like being out of service, you know. In a very gross way, he said it had like backed up, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, so not a situation that you want to be in. So the camp had brought in like this group of porta potties and set them outside. And obviously, since their cabin toilet was broken, they had to go use the restroom in the porta potties whenever they needed to. And one of the weird rules that this camp counselor dude tried to like put in effect to try to get them to like respect him more and be more in control is that they had to ask to go to the bathroom. Which is insane, bro. Like, all right, you know, it's one thing if it's like at school in the middle of a lesson or whatever, but if I'm at camp all the time, I'm not asking to go to the bathroom, bro. If I gotta poo, I gotta poo. But this guy just was obviously a control freak trying to be like, no, you need to ask me. And his threat, if anybody didn't ask to go to the bathroom, was that if he found out and he caught you in the bathroom, that he was going to tip over the porta potty. And he swore that he wasn't kidding and da-da-da-da-da. And based on the way he had treated them before, they thought that he was serious. So they all decided that they were going to do that to him instead. And listen, yes, I do feel a little bad, but at the same time, when you're like being mean to everybody and then you're like, I'm going to tip you over in the porta potty, you can't be surprised Pikachu when they do that to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, these kids don't like you, and when you're threatening to tip them over in the porta potty, you're almost inspiring them in a way. Like, you're giving them a free idea. Hey, I'm just saying, if you guys wanted to make me very upset in a very fun way, then don't do exactly this. Here's how you would do it with a step-by-step tutorial, a YouTube link to 18 different ways to do it. Like, come on, man. Obviously, you're just setting yourself up to get tipped over here. So whatever. The one thing that they realize once they get this idea, though, is that this guy never goes to the bathroom. They don't know if it's, his early bedtime at 8:30, the fact that he's no fun, like there's just never any waste to him. But like they just never get an opportunity to catch this guy in the bathroom, and nobody really understands why. And then one day, one of the kids had just had like a little bit too much sugar before going to bed at 8:30, and they had stayed up till about 1 a.m. And at 1 a.m. he had gone to the bathroom and he had stayed in there for about like 30 minutes. So they realized that he just goes to the porta potty in the middle of the night. It's almost like this guy knew that they were plotting on him. You know what I mean? He's like, I will show these kids that they will never get the opportunity to tip me over. That will never occur, as I swear it on my great-grandfather's passion. I don't know. I just feel like that's the way this dude would talk. So that's his voice from now on. So they decide that they're all going to stay up one night. The only hard thing about that is like one person being up and faking asleep, that's okay. But like getting everybody to do it and be good at it is hard, bro. There's always that one kid that like can't stop giggling. You're like, shut up, bro. Shut up. Man. It was just stressful. I wasn't there, but like in situations like this where you've been like, everybody just be quiet. There's always one person that just can't keep it together, bro. And you know what's awful? I am that person, bro. I hate it. I just be giggling. I crack. I start laughing under pressure sometimes. If I can talk, I'm okay, but staying silent when I'm like not supposed to be, it's hard. It's hard. You guys get what I'm saying. Whatever. Somehow, by a miracle though, 4 of them make it to 1 a.m. without like falling asleep or, purposely falling asleep because they're not going to be able to stay up and not make noise. And almost like clockwork, the counselor ends up going to go to the bathroom. And they've only got about 3 nights left till they go home. So even if they get in trouble, they're not really like that stressed about it. Oh no, I'm in trouble for 3 days, but I got you back for like making my camp awful. It's pretty sick. So they obviously get together and they're like, all right, are you guys ready? And they're like, yeah. So they start walking towards the porta potty and they're like, all right, which one is he in? And they see that there's like a phone light in one of them. So they're like, all right, perfect. There he is. Let's position it to be tipped over. All right, guys, I'm going to interrupt the video for just a second. On screen now is actually a PlayStation gift card. I give one of these away in every single video as a way to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed with those notifications on. So, yeah, if you are already subscribed with notifications on, then big thank you. But if you haven't already, be sure to hit that button so you never miss another upload. And, yeah, on that note, I will shut up and get back to the video. Enjoy. So at that moment, they decide that it's time, bro. And if you've ever tried to tip over a porta potty, it's actually more difficult than you would think, okay? I'm not gonna lie, especially when somebody's in it, it makes the center of gravity pretty low. Not that I've ever done this or anything, okay? Me, never. I'm an angel. But regardless, they all get together, and it takes all of them that were awake to get underneath this thing. Well, not really underneath it, but you know what I mean. Like, get to the point where it starts to tip. And as soon as it starts to tip, they hear him being like, oh no! And like, you panic. And the next thing he screams is like, whoever's doing this, I'm gonna get you! And the way that they pushed it, obviously, happened to be where the door was going to hit the ground. So not only was it going to tip and get all over him, but then they were gonna have time to run, because he was gonna have to, like, throw his body weight around to get the door to a side it's able to open at. So they do it, it tips, and they run. And one thing, surprisingly, that all of them do, I'm sure it's just the adrenaline in the moment, is, like, they're not laughing as they're running. It's just pure, like, oh my god, we gotta get out of here. So they run, and they get back in their bunks, they all close their eyes, and they all basically try to get to sleep. And the person who sent me the story gets to sleep. Apparently they're all asleep, but like I'm sure a couple of them were awake. But about an hour later, their lights get turned on, their blankets get ripped off, and it's him and like the adult of the camp. You know, none of the other counselors really liked him, so none of them came to his rescue, but the other adult of the camp is there, and they're like, which one of you did this? And all of them are like, dude, we've been asleep, we have no idea what you're talking about. And obviously the adult is kind of like, none of you know what happened. Your counselor's porta potty got tipped and all of you were asleep. None of you know what happened. No, I have no idea. All of us were asleep. And the counselor is like, I want them separated one by one and questioned. I feel like they did it, da 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 da. But the one thing he doesn't realize is why, like, yes, he really cares about who tipped over the porta potty. This adult just wants to go back to bed. It's like 2 a.m. They're not really down to be doing this. They don't care that much. If these kids are all asleep, and most of them were asleep, like they had to wake them up, they're just gonna believe it. So the adult person is like, all right, man, well, I'm not going to pull them aside one by one and question them. I don't care. Camp ends in like a couple days, so just deal with it, I guess. They say it wasn't them. If you can prove it's them, then I'll do something, but I don't feel like pulling them apart one by one and questioning them right now. So obviously at that point, their counselor dude is like super pissed off. He's all mumbling to himself while he's going to bed and whatnot. You guys are crazy. I can't believe the disrespect. And the next day, he starts like trying to get them to break. He starts telling them that he knows it's them and he can prove it and da-da-da-da-da. And all of them are just staying strong. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. The thing is, when you're mean to like everybody who has to deal with you as like a boss or a leader, they will keep their mouth shut, you know? If you had been really nice to a bunch of people and then like just a couple kids did it to be mean, somebody probably would have told you. But nah, when you ruin everybody's summer by making them go to bed at 8:30 and like not be able to have any fun, I am not surprised that when somebody tips over your porta potty that everybody keeps their mouth shut. And the ending of this one is nobody told. To this day, the guy has no clue that they tipped over his porta potty unless he somehow ends up watching a Scrubs video right now. In which case, man, I feel like you deserved it. I can't lie. It is pretty funny, though. A pretty solid case of revenge. I feel like that's one thing you can do to somebody that's gonna stick with them forever. Covering them in poop. Covering them in poop. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the video. And, of course, while you're at it, subscribe and hit that notification button, baby. If you're in the market for some G Fuel, one of the best energy drinks of all time, nay, the best, use code SCRUBBY at checkout. It helps me out, it helps you out, and yeah, it's just super swag. Other than that, check out my podcast, The Scuffed Cast. Link will be down below, along with the link to the intro song and the merch. And on that note, guys, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I will see you guys all next time with another video. Happy May. I'm out. Peace.